Hi guys and welcome to Bomb Anime.
It's your girl Ruka.
And Big Boy Sam here bringing you our hot or not on Uncle from Another World.
Creativity. So this is an isekai, so you might be thinking, I know what this is, same old, but you would be wrong. This one is really looking at the realities of the isekai life. It's not an escape from reality, you know, like the monotonous reality of your normal life. It is another disappointing reality, but with higher stakes, because your life is literally on the line.
Yeah, I originally, when we saw this anime on our trailers that we did, so check out that video if you haven't, I thought this was about someone using the isekai format in order to discuss Alzheimer's or dementia or something like that, from someone coming out of from a coma and not realizing what the real world is and so on and so forth. This was not that either. This instead gave you a different perspective on a different life that is not necessarily better and could be a lot worse.
Entertainment. So I laughed a lot when it came to the uncle actually retelling stories from the isekai life, because they're so bad, and Takafumi the whole time is like, no, I don't want to hear this like right now. I can't take this right now. But his uncle just soldiers through like he's not even speaking and tells him anyway. So I found that really funny. And then on top of that, to support that, they've also got this little recording device when it comes to his magic use, the uncle does, and he also backs it up by showing clips from his life, which also adds hilarity because we can see what the uncle himself has been missing in terms of like what's actually happening in his life. He's quite clueless in some respect. Yeah,
there were parts of it where it felt like your parents telling a dirty joke or something, where you were like, oh, I feel for the nephew here. And then there were parts of it where you were just like, bro, do you not understand what's going on here? It was hilarious. They used situational comedy really well here, constantly throughout the time. And that 24 minutes didn't feel like 24 minutes at all.
Character development. So, of course, we've got to talk about Takafumi. He is here with his uncle. He's kind of, I don't know if I can call it yet, but right now he's come off a little bit jerkish. He was completely willing to send his uncle off to the state to basically fend for himself. But as soon as he realized that his uncle had these powers, he was like, oh, okay, I'm going to exploit him instead. But he doesn't seem to have any remorse for that or any feelings about it. He's just gonna do what he's gonna do. I like a character that's kind of messing in grey areas, if you will. I mean, okay, it's not really grey, he's a bit of a jerk. And then you've got this uncle who is pretty clueless. Like, he doesn't realise that the woman following him around actually clearly loves him. She's a tsundere. Like, it's kind of funny because he was in his coma when this genre of anime started coming out, so he doesn't understand it from so many aspects. But we get it because we watched all of those types of animes. And although he blocks a lot of his memories that he finds too much to deal with, like Sega going best, he's still quite adaptable. He's managed to just start using the internet, although he wants an old style sort of phone. He still is adapting so much to this new situation where everything is different. So much has changed.
Okay, so Rika said everything, so I just want to say I completely agree with Uncle here about getting that slidey phone to the left. Look, when I was a kid, I wanted it. When it came out, I bought one and I knew it was cool. I actually bought one quite recently, and I really shouldn't admit this because I do have a smartphone, but I don't make any calls on it. I don't use it for anything. I just wanted it and I got it. I get it. He wants to relive the nostalgia, like the references to Sega and Sonic the Hedgehog and so on and so forth. It's amazing because obviously we're in that community. We're anime heads, we're gamer guys and girls, we're all sorts of people that are in that geeky, nerdy sort of world. Hold out to Famicom, shout out, whatever. So I get it, but it is funny watching the juxtaposition between only 17 years and how much the world has changed and him having to deal with that. And I feel like he's taking it well. Now, in terms of the nephew, yeah, he's a and this is why he deserves every single time Uncle tells him about his stories. Look, he deserves it. You chose this life. you woke up and chose exploitation, you're gonna get the bad stuff too. And the elf girl that fancies Uncle, I hope eventually they probably summon her and she comes into this world too. And she's also a little bit clueless. If she really wanted someone to like her, like, just be honest about it. But hey ho, like, I can get the characterizations. They all mesh well together. So I feel like they've done a good job in that sense.
World building. The spells that Uncle has and that worked in the other world works in his original world, but only when spoken in Japanese. Although there are some exceptions to that, he did use his other world language to open up his interface so that he could rewatch the videos. But in terms of creating anything in this world, in terms of spells, he has to use Japanese, and he found that out very quickly. But it's interesting that his magic managed to carry across worlds, especially because he got isekai'd away due to a coma, not from dying and him being reincarnated or anything like that. He's still in his original body, so I found that interesting. What even woke him from the coma is a question that I feel like needs answering. I feel like that might give clues to why his powers have been able to be carried across. And I also like how they show how much has actually changed during the passage of time where he's been gone, based off of all of the things that he doesn't know. In terms of the world building, we're getting a lot of information about this old world through the video communication and through the stories that the uncle is telling, which is making me feel as if these people are going to make an appearance in this world, as you were saying earlier on.
Yeah.
That there's going to be some kind of merger, or maybe Takafumi might have a chance to go there himself. But they're really showing us like the types of spells that have been used in the old world, and how that world is not the way you would expect a fantasy world to go. Like, when you're being isekai'd, it's a very different reality to what you would expect. So I like seeing the world building from both worlds.
So in terms of world building, a little bit of what Ruka said as to how he's able to keep his powers. Because he was in a coma, I'm kind of thinking it's more like a Sword Art Online situation where it's your consciousness that's gone over, not your actual physical state, clearly. And because the spells are tied to your soul, as to say, or your consciousness, that's why he's allowed to use it here. In this world, words are strong, so they have to use real world words in order to do it. In that world, their words are strong, and he has to use real world words. So that's how I feel it's going. But I digress. In terms of world building proper, I like the scene of the old world. I think the old world needs to be explored a little bit more, because I want to see more of it. I get it, he's in the new world and he's exploiting his powers in order to get personal gain, and that's cool and great and all. He's making YouTube, and which is very meta, like, you know, videos and going viral, and haters, oh my god, the way that they express haters I thought was perfect and stuff like that. So they have lots of elements that allow you to understand the reality of the situation that he's in. I do get it, and I feel like that's what they did.
Execution. I'm leaving this one as a blank. Big boy Sama.
To the verdict!
Creativity, hot or not?
For me, it's a massive hot. I've explained how wonderful and weird it's been, and I personally didn't see it going this way. Hot.
I think it's definitely hot on the creativity. It's very different. It's already proving to set itself apart from other isekais that we see. You know, we see this every so often, a great isekai that just sets itself apart from all of the rest. Entertainment, hot or not?
Very entertaining. I was telling Ruka while we were watching it that by the first break, I was like, if the episode ended here, I will still probably give it the scores I'm about to give it. So it's a hot for entertainment.
Hot from me. 5 minutes in, I was already well entertained, so I already knew that this was going to be a great episode on the entertainment front. It's a done deal. Character development, hot or not?
For me, it's a hot. I feel like every character makes sense at the moment, and like they've really tackled the fact that he's lost the 17 years and the stuff that has changed, and the anime and the world of technology and YouTube being a thing. Like, I feel like they've smashed it in how they've made the main character so believable, as well as the nephew. Not so much the tsundere, but they haven't really touched on her much, but they've given her the correct amount of airtime. Hot for me.
It's also a hot for me. I think they gave us 3 solid characters. We can see who they are, and yeah, it's a hot. World building, hot or not?
See, for me, this is where it's my only not so far, because I feel like they didn't do enough to build the other world. Like, they took the lazy route and built this world. And okay, not the lazy route, because that's not fair. They're telling their story and it's not up to me how they decide to go about it. But I feel like they didn't show me enough of the other world for me to have a real world built and a juxtaposition between the two. So it's a not for me on this one.
I do get what you're saying, but I'm actually going to give this one like a softer hot, but I still feel like it's hot.
A soft hot.
Because they were splitting their difference between two separate places and we only have like 20 minutes in an episode. So I think that they did well with the time that they had, especially because it's just the first episode. I understand that second world, it's quite vicious. You can be killed on a dime, like even villagers that you help can turn on you. It's a very dangerous world. I can see what it's like, so I do feel like they did enough to get the hot on this one. Hot execution, hot or not? So
for me, it's a total massive hot. I don't even know what to say why it's a hot, because there's so much to say. So I'll leave it to these few things. First thing, I've got a plot for the story, for the episode. My uncle wakes up. That's a hot. I already got it. 5 minutes in, I knew what was going on. Each section had its own plot. You can do this. Let's go viral. You can do this. Let's go viral. You can do this. Let me get free shipping. Like, constantly gave me objectives and stories and situational things that sorted. That's for the episode. Now, I don't have a full overarching plot execution for the whole thing, but I feel like because they have been so thorough in giving us direction on what they're doing, I can give this one a buy and give it the hot it deserves.
To me, there wasn't a plot, so this is going to be not for me. I don't think that we had a plot. I just think that we had a series of things that were going on during the episode. It didn't give me a direction. I don't know if they're going to continue to make those viral videos. I don't know if they're going to continue to do the shipping. I mean, I felt like that could have been taken further and he could have literally bought all these items and resold them to make a profit, because he can charge the delivery that he got for free. So to me, there wasn't really a plot. There wasn't anything. I don't know where it's going from here. I don't know what I'm going to see in episode 2. So it's not for me. So there you have it, guys. We have both gone for 4 out of 5 hots. Although we do differ on the last 2, which is plot execution and the world building. But we believe that this is going to be a hot based on its first episode.
Definitely think it's going to be a hot. So if you made it this far, we do really, really appreciate y'all.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and hit that bell.
Peace.